Hotep, I am the Amen Osiris, the one and only undisputed God of law. We are Deception Stoppers, America's only 4D education service. Thank God I'm not a lawyer. Thank God this is not a law firm. We don't advocate that you don't support your human offspring. We simply advocate that you made them in private, take care of them in private. Now, today I'm going to go over how to construct your notice to terminate your involuntary participation weapon, part 2. And this is dealing with the body. All right. Now, let me just get this up here a little bit. All right. So, number 1, gentlemen, always use due process. Okay. Now, number 2, I gave you the summary of section 1. I'm going to show you how to put in your body now. So, by due process of law, you must notify the crime boss that the unit's unlawful officious intermeddling is violating your right to be let alone and free from the unit, contractual agents, officials, and employees' intrusion into your private life and is encroaching upon your inherent rights to life, liberty, and your pursuit of happiness. 45 CFR, subsection 302.12, subsection 3, provides that he or she, the crime boss, alone secures compliance of the plan under color of 42 U.S.C. 651. That's what you call Title 4D, gentlemen. 42 U.S.C. 651 is Title 4D of the Social Security Act. Okay? By contacted agents and officials, let me move it up a little bit. I'm working on 2 screens. All right, by contracted agents and officials who induced you by fear to involuntarily participate in the federal-state partnership against your will, only to increase the unit's bottom line, not to whether the needs of your human offspring are satisfied. Read Blessing versus Freestone. All right, Title 4D was never intended to benefit individual children and custodial parents. It does not constitute a federal right, and there's no entitlement to services. Read 42 U.S.C. 601D. All right, there is no entitlement to Title 4D services. Okay, so in other words, you're letting him or her know that this is your fault. So again, this is how it works. You're standing on the bus stop. You're going to the beach. You're dressed for the beach. Flip-flops, backpack. 500-pound, 9-foot-tall child support comes and wants to stand on the bus stop with you. And with this size 19 shoe, and all of a sudden, as they walk up towards you, they're on top of your foot. You yell, "Get off my foot," okay? And they look at you and say, "The hell with you and your foot." Now your foot breaks in so many different places. Can you sue them? Yes. You are telling the 4D crime boss that they are violating your rights. Okay? You did not want Title 4D services. You didn't ask for any help. And you're exercising your right to take care of your human offspring in private. That's all you're telling them with these lines. All right? This is the body. All right? Now, as we go down, under 42 U.S.C. 651, all right, Title 4D is contractual by nature. All right, read Penhurst versus Haldeman Hospital. Title 4D is contractual in nature. All right, its sole purpose is collecting obligations owed by what? Non-custodial pay rents. 42 U.S.C. 666, the mark of the beast, positively identifies the non-custodial pay rent as 20 CFR 422-103D property. All right. Again, gentlemen, the Social Security card and number that you hold is not your card. The name on that card does not belong to you, and the number does not belong to you. I don't want you to get all tied up with QSIP numbers and all that other stuff. All right, that's nice to know, but here it's irrelevant. All right. Again, if it's the property of the Social Security number of the Social Security Administration, how did your name get on it? And when you getting compensated, because they're making tons of money off of it, how did your name get on someone else's property? All right, it's not your card. And number 2, again, all right, that's a violation of the 13th Amendment because they're identifying you and treating you as property. And they're subject you to involuntary servitude because if you don't work, they can't garnish, and if they can't garnish or you pay them voluntarily, all right, you know what happens: suspension of driver's license, put you in jail, the whole 9 yards. All right, so be mindful of that. So, and incidentally, gentlemen, I'm going to tell you again, we don't call it the Child Support Enforcement Agency. There is no such thing as the phrase child support. Again, Blessing versus Freestone. Title 4D was never intended to benefit individual children or custodial parents. So why are they calling it child support? That's fraud. That's also dissemination of false advertisement. 15 U.S.C. subsection 52. All right. It is illegal for any partnership or business, all right, to disseminate false advertisement that affects commerce. All right. Now, like any other federal program, all right, so this alone detached and disconnected organizational unit provides/sells services, 4D collection services to customers. All right. The unit offers many services to parents, which is a customer. The federal and state partnership has specific eligibility criteria that people must meet to qualify to enroll. Gentlemen, this is a federally funded program. You don't just get to participate in a federally funded program. In order to be even considered eligible, you have to fill out an application. Okay? Here it is. Let's bring it up some. All right. 42 U.S.C. subsection 654 6A expressly states that services, Title 4D services, shall be available to any individual upon application filed by such individual with the unit. All right. 6BI provides that an application fee for furnishing such services shall be imposed, which shall be paid by the individual applying for such services. Gentlemen, there is a mandatory $35 application fee to even process that application. All right. Title 4D services are not free unless your the custodial parent is collecting welfare. All right. We'll get into that. All right. If they're not on the welfare program, then they have to pay. And they also have to pay a $35 yearly annual fee. All right, that's $70 that they're selling these services for. And unfortunately, because you're compelled to be a customer, all right, they're also charging you that annual user's fee, all right, amongst other fees. All right. So case law clearly provides that so far as the record informs, plaintiff, you never submitted a written application nor paid the requisite application fee with the appropriate unit requesting for these services. All right, Monzone versus Monzone. So in other words, if you did not fill out an application, gentlemen, you are ineligible to participate in the federally funded 4D partnership. All right, this is where the Officious Intermeddling Doctrine comes in. All right, the Officious Intermeddling Doctrine in law prevents the 4D crime boss who provide unsolicited 4D services from recovering compensation for those services. If you did not apply for Title 4D services, they shouldn't be asking you for any money. All right? Again, don't take my word for it. Look it up. This doctrine essentially means right here that if the crime boss performs a service for you without your request, your application, or your consent, they cannot later demand payment for that service, even if you benefited from it. Did you ask them to help you collect money for your human offspring? No, you did not. Tell them, hey, well, you're saying I'm in this program. Show me the application. Show me where I paid the application fee or where I enrolled in the program. All right. Again, officious intermeddling means you go on vacation, you come back a week later, and while you're gone, your neighbor has painted your house, detailed your car, trimmed your hedges, did your driveway, and then the next morning the neighbor comes over and says, yo, man, I hope you liked everything. Yeah, okay, well, I need $1,000. For what? For all this work I did. I didn't ask you to do the work. That's what officious intermeddling is. They can't take you to court. because you didn't ask them to help you collect money for your human offspring. All right? Common law, biblical law, thou shalt not kill. All right? Does anybody have to tell you that? No. Just like nobody has to tell you how to support your human offspring. All right? You don't need their help. What do you need their help for? They don't care about your kids. All right? And we Hunt versus Ledbetter, the kids, families, needy families with children were never the intended beneficiaries of the statute. The only thing Title 4D is designed to do, gentlemen, is to stockpile money in their bottom line. That is it. You're letting them now know on this section of the body, okay, that number one, I didn't ask you for these services. I never applied for the services, and therefore I'm not required to pay you for services that I did not apply for. That is the body, gentlemen. All right. Next, we'll do part 3, which is going to be the conclusion, which is the conclusion and the certificate of services. All right, gentlemen, you have your assignment. So basically, in essence, when you're done composing this letter, it's going to be 3 short paragraphs, okay? You're going to have the body, all right? You're letting them know about the officious intermeddling, all right? And you're also going to have, all right, the reason you're writing it, okay? Your notice. This is your notice. Remember, I showed you on the last video. All right. This is your notice. This is going to be your first paragraph. This is going to be your second paragraph. Tomorrow or whenever I get a chance, I will do part 3, and I'll show you how to add your third paragraph and the certificate of services. All right. And then basically from there, you'll get instructions. Take it, get it notarized, make some copies. Send it to the 4D crime boss by certified mail, return receipt requested. Once that return receipt comes back, sign that green 3811 form. Now you can file your lawsuit in federal court. And the cool part is this letter that you're going to learn how to write, all right, this is going to be Exhibit A. All right, your certified mailing receipts and you got the receipt that you paid for it. You get the other little green slip and then the return receipt. All right, you'll make copies of that. That's your proof of service. Exhibit A. Okay? Very compelling. Now, they can't come back and say, well, I didn't know. If you tell someone that they're violating your rights, all right, and what they're doing is encroaching upon you and enslaving you, and you want them to stop, and they fail to act, okay, that's, you got them lined up. Remember, any person, all right, all you need to do is prove 2 things. The 4D crime boss deprived you subject you under color of law, because remember, Title 42 of the United States Codes was never enacted into positive law, and that conduct deprived you of your rights and immunities guaranteed by the Constitution and federal laws. I'm the Ahmed Osiris, folks. Information's on the screen. If you have any questions, bang my email, hackrorsec@gmail.com. All right, and we also offer classes on this, gentlemen. If you're having trouble making this on your own, we can sign you up for a webinar. All right, that webinar, you'll get your books. We'll create a form similar to this for you. All right, with all the information that you need. And again, you'll get your books and you'll get instructions. And then you'll see the why. Okay, and this is what's going to make you that much more lethal. Okay, you got proof now. Remember, all it is due process. That's all you're doing. 3 short paragraphs. So I used to like the color of law form, but unfortunately, the color of law form deals with 18 USC 242. All right, and what a lot of people don't realize is that statute can only be used by the federal government. Okay, you can't go after them for 18 USC Section 242's conspiracy against rights. It can't be done. All right, but you are going after them under 42 USC 1983 for deprivation of rights under color of law. I'm the Ahmed Osiris, folks. All right, you have your assignment. Like I said, if you need help, bang the email. Look forward to hearing from you, and I'll be back later on with part 3 of the conclusion, and we're going to show you how to shut these pukes down. Hotep.